May Allah bless you. Ameen. طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Tonight's lesson is on Ad-Durar Al-Bahiyyah في المسائل الفقهية. We finished Kitab Al-Rada' or Bab Al-Rada' and moving forward to Bab Al-Hidana, another subchapter of divorce. A subchapter of talaq is Al-Hidana or Al-Hadana. It says here in page 399 of the English translation, along with the explanation, chapter 9.11, guardianship. 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 In my copy, it says here, or before we go that far, we'll take a fa'idah from San'ani and Subul al-Salam. قال بكسر الحاء المهملة مصدر من حضن الصبي حضرا وحضانة جعله في حضنه أو رباه فاحتضنه. والحضن بكسر الحاء هو ما دون الإبت إلى الكشح أو الصدر أو العضدان وما بينهما، وجانب الشيء وناحيته كما في القاموس، وهو في الشرع حفظ من لا يستقل بأمره وتربيته وبقايته عما يهلكه أو يضره. Says that al-hidana with a kasra under the ha, and some say with a fatah, hadana, is much more than just guardianship and is much more than just custody. But in the Arabic language, al-hidana comes from three letters, ha, dad, and a noon, which represents a part of the body. Once again, showing you the beauty of the Arabic language and its depth. It represents a body part. It represents an area of the body. It says here, it comes from the word hadana, which means ja'alahu fi hidnihi, to place something in your hidn. Aw rabbahu fahtadanahu, which means that the hidn, the kasra on the ha, and sukun on the dad, وما دون الإبت إلى الكشح, is beneath the underarm towards the hip bone or the flank, or the chest to al-adudani, biceps, like torso or solar plex. طيب وما بينهما وجانب الشيء وناحيته, and it means the side or the corner of a thing. Meaning, the word hidana linguistically is broken down to giving someone a big hug, hugging someone. What we say in our cultural language, a bear hug, all right, or squeezing someone, keeping someone safe, keeping someone warm, protecting them. Like a baby. You take the baby, you place the baby on your hip, or you put the baby on your chest, and you make sure that the baby is held tightly, the baby is kept warm, and you protect the baby from what? Any type of harm or anything that will bother the baby. So after talaq, a man and a woman don't agree, they can't live with each other, there is no harmony, he no longer likes her, she no longer likes him, or vice versa, one of the two, if not both, and they split up, and they have children. Where the children go? Who will take care of the children? Who will provide for the children? Who gets guardianship of the children? Who gets custody of the children? But I'm trying to show you that it's a deeper meaning than that. And having a child and keeping a child with you is much more than the child just living in your house, or you have custody. But what are you doing with the child? Are you hugging that child? Are you squeezing that child? Are you warming that child? And are you protecting the child from harm and from danger? That is the parent or step parent or whoever is the one that is supposed to have the custody of the child. Is the one that can keep the child the safest, the warmest, the softest, the closest. So the hidana is a part of the body. So it literally means to hug something, to squeeze something, to envelop something. I.e., if you hug someone or squeeze someone, that person feels safe from you, like you hug your brother. It's a show of love, a show of endearment. Some brothers get wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, others get wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, and others get what? Hada huwa. There's different levels of relationship. This one is just what? Your basic haq. Nothing bad, nothing personal. Your basic haq. And this one gets what? Maybe half of it. Another one gets a what? You hear the hands on the what? The leather. Right? Everyone understand this? Meaning that you love that person, you have a feeling of emotion, affection for that person. So al-hidana means much more than just custody and guardianship. And the reason why I'm bringing this out is because many parents, they think and they feel is that custody is just giving the money or giving the child money or letting the child play and laugh and joke or sending the child to school. Okay, whoever looks after the children, who's taking care of the children, that's not important, but they're in my house. They are under my custody, my guardianship. But who's looking after them? Who's giving them their meals? Who's teaching them? Who's playing with them? What are they learning? And what are you protecting them from? So that's the true guardianship. And if we understand this, then it's to make things easier with regards to which parent keeps the children. Or how much, what is the percentage, what's the breakdown of the custody and the guardianship? 50-50, 60-40, at what age, what sex? Everyone understand this? So that's what the word hidana means in the Arabic language. Sanani rahimahullah, he says, وَفِي الشَّرَعِ, and in the Sharia, Islamically, it means حِفْظُ مَنْ لَا يَسْتَقِلُّ بِأَمْرِهِ, is to protect someone who cannot protect himself. To protect someone who cannot protect herself. Is to protect children who cannot protect themselves. La yastaqillu. They can't do it by themselves. Wa tarbiyatihi, and raising them. Wa wiqayatihi, and protecting them. Amma yadurruhu, or amma yuhlikuhu aw yadurru, from that which will destroy them and or harm them. So it's not just having the child under your guardianship and that's it in your household, but it's to raise the child, protect the child, and to keep them mahfuz. That's what it means linguistically and Islamically. What? And what? Islamically. Tayyib. Sanani rahimahullah ta'ala, or Shawkani, and this is clearly connected to Kitab al-Talaq, and that's because in most cases, when people get divorced, they have a child. Not every single time, but in most cases, oftentimes, people, they live together and they have children. And they get divorced and there are children. A girl, a boy, 2 boys, 2 girls, 4 girls, 5 boys, 6, 9, 10, 2, 3, etc. As we've studied in Kitab al-Talaq, it's permissible to divorce a pregnant woman. A woman could be pregnant and divorced. If she's pregnant and divorced and she doesn't lose the child, she keeps the child, she'll have a baby for sure. And she'll be by herself. Does she remain unmarried? Does she remarry? Right? When she remarries, does the child go with the father, the newborn baby? Will there be a blended home? Stepfather, stepmother, stepdaddy, step-abby, step-umi? Or will a person be a single parent mother along with 3 children, 5 children, 6 children? Or a child here, this is one from this wife? Mixture. Are everyone clear on this or not? So this is very important to study and have a basic understanding of, and of course to have an advanced understanding of some of its issues. Some of its issues, because it happens very often. And it isn't something that's new or specific to 2020. It isn't something that's new or specific to Black Americans. It isn't something specific to the urban inner city. People have had blended families for years. And men have raised children that weren't theirs for years. Women have had their children taken from them or given them up willingly for what? For years. Of all different races and colors. All different races and colors. We're talking about warring, fighting, pillaging, plundering. This one is taken as a concubine. This one's taken as a slave. This woman is pregnant. He sleeps with her and he takes the child. So on and so forth. Everyone understand this? A very interesting story to show you the concept of a blended family and how oftentimes people don't look at the blood, but they look at who the child is living with. It's a very interesting story, and Allah knows best. Some sources of history say that Genghis Khan was married at the age of 9. He got married very young. And when he grew up and when he grew older, a rival clan or rival tribe kidnapped his wife, taking revenge for his father. His father had kidnapped his bride from their tribe or their clan. So they took revenge many, many years later. So obviously she was kidnapped by the rival clan, and in most cases she was taken as a concubine. She was going to be a sex slave of that other tribe, and whoever owned her was going to sleep with her, if not several men at once, right? So Genghis Khan, they say he got news and he got word of his stolen bride, that she was kidnapped. These people took her, so on and so forth. So he wanted to retrieve his bride that he loved. So he went to his blood brother. He spoke with his allies and he said, we have to fight and we have to take my wife back. So his blood brother, he said, sure, as soon as the spring comes, we'll go. I'll help you out. You're my sworn blood brother. But right now, it's winter time. It's cold. It's not a good time to fight. And he says, we can't wait that long. He said, why not? What's the problem? He says, there are plenty of women. I can give you one what? Right now. Faddal. Let's know, what's the big thing with this one? He says, we have to fight before the winter comes. And little did he know, Genghis Khan knew and he felt that she was what? That she was pregnant. And he wanted to retrieve her before too many months went by so he could claim the child. Even if the child wasn't necessarily considered what? His. But it was the woman that he loved and it was going to be his son, no matter whose seed it was. Everyone understand this? So after he discussed things with his blood brother, he finally agreed to what? To go to what? To go to war. So they found out where she was. They won. They retrieved her, so on and so forth, and she was pregnant. She was pregnant. He took her. That's one narration says. And he slept with her again. And he considered that child to be what? His child. I don't care what actual is the, that's the bottom line. Everyone understand this? Everybody clear on this or not? And there are other versions of the story as well with regards to the child being born already. The point from the story and the moral of the story is what? Is valuing a child. Valuing a son. Everyone understand this? That isn't from my loins. Let alone some fathers don't value the son that is what? From their loins. That's the sad reality. And the concept of it's no guarantee that you'll have children. It's no guarantee that you'll get pregnant. And it's no guarantee that you'll keep the child. It is no guarantee that the child will grow up, reach adulthood. That the child will be strong and free from disease and sickness and illness. So to have pregnancy, to have a child, many people, they looked at it as a what? A tremendous blessing. And they didn't allow marriage, divorce, fighting, warring to step in front of hidana. Taking care of the what? Of the child. Protecting it and raising it. And we all know what happened to the sons of Genghis Khan. And obviously, that which is apparent is that he was upon shirk and kufr. And we're not here to praise him. But we're talking about a worldly example of how he raised them and nurtured them in his lifestyle. And they turned into be world conquerors. Jubei, Subutai, Ogadai, so on and so forth. They conquered a great portion of the dunya. So if that was their batil and their shirk and their kufr and their worldly ambitions, what is the hidan of what? Us as Muslims. How am I protecting my son, taking care of my son, raising my son from that which harms him, destroys him? How am I protecting and keeping safe my daughter? How warm is my flank? Everyone understand this? How warm and soft is my bosom for my son or my daughter? So it's a very, very important concept of raising children. And oftentimes when people are married and they're divorced, they have what? Children. And their children are in the middle and they're stuck. There's a very long discussion with regards to child custody battles, guardianship, going to court, child support. The point is that it's not a thing just to new Muslims. Having a blended what? Family. That was my original point. It's not new to 2020. Nor is it new to a specific race or ethnic background as many people think and feel. Oh, you have stepchildren? Only such and such people have what? Stepchildren. Only such and such people have blended families. That's not true. If you read the annals of history, you find many races had what? Blended families. A daughter that was raised, Musa alayhi salam was raised where? Everyone understand this? And Pharaoh's wife, alayhi salam, she wanted to be what? Qurratu aynin li. The beauty of my eyes. Everyone understand this? And there are many other examples of how people raised people that got married, got divorced, so on and so forth, and there were children in the mix. So there's no shame in having stepchildren. And there's no shame in having what? A blended family. And oftentimes people are prevented from a good prospect in marriage because they say, oh, I don't want stepchildren. Or she has a son, or she has a daughter, or such and such is her ex-husband. And it may be a bad thing. And it may be a situation of problems and drama, but at the end of the day, you'll be prevented from what? A good sister or a good brother. All right? Who are you marrying initially? Are you marrying the son, the ex-husband, the ex-boyfriend? Or are you marrying the woman? If you and her have a good relationship, a strong, healthy relationship, you love her, she loves you, nothing can come and break that relationship. Nothing. People can scratch you. They can spit at you, growl at you, bark at you, but no one can come and take her away from you if what? If your relationship is solid. Everyone understand these words? So don't allow yourself to be prevented from a righteous sister or righteous brother just because they have children. You may have a preference, that's fine. If you have the ability to pick and choose. But if you're not married and it's a good situation, a good prospect, say, no, never mind, she has children. Then you continue to be what? Single. And then you may marry a sister that isn't that righteous or isn't that good of a housewife, and the list goes on. Right, moving forward. As-Sanani rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, Al-awla bil-tifli umuhu, ma lam tankih, thumma al-khala, thumma al-ab, thumma yu'ayyinu al-hakimu min al-qarabati man ra'a fihi salaha, wa ba'da bulughi sin al-istiqlali yukhayyiru as-sabiyyu bayna abihi wa ummihi, فإن لم يوجد أكفله من كان له في كفالته مصلحة. Short, concise, simple, right to the point. He says the best person to take care of the kid, nice translation. Not child, but what? The kid. So the best person to take care of the kid is his mother. So far, she has not remarried. After her is the maternal aunt. Not paternal, but what? Maternal aunt. Then the father. He said the maternal aunt, then what? Then the father. If these options are not possible, the judge will assign any upright person from among the close relations to care of him. If the child is whom has reached puberty, he will be made to choose between the father and the mother. But if there is none, he will be put under the care of whomever is thought would take an adequate care of him. Everyone understand this? Once more in Arabic, he says, Al-awla bil-tifli ummuhu, ma lam tankih, thumma al-khala, thumma al-abu, thumma yu'ayyinu al-hakimu min al-qarabati man ra'a fihi salaha, wa ba'da bulughi sin al-istiqlal yukhayyiru as-sabiyyu bayna abihi wa ummihi. فإن لم يوجد أكفله من كان له في كفالته مصلحة. Says in English once more, the best person to take care of the kid is his mother. So far she has not remarried. After her is the maternal aunt, then the father. If these options are not possible, the judge will assign any upright person from among the close relations to care of him. If the child is whom has reached puberty, he will be made to choose between the father and the mother. If there is none, he will be put under the care of whomever is thought would take an adequate care of him. Khairan, inshallah. Of course, like any other issue, Islam has given us instruction, has given us guidance, has taught us, and it has not left us to our culture, our customs, to our minds, to our feelings, our thoughts, and our opinions. There's nothing that can happen to the human being except that you'll find a verse or a hadith about it, or a principle about it. And that is from the beauty of Al-Islam. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. Inna dina inda Allah al-Islam. Wa raditu lakum al-Islam dina. Allah chose this religion for us. Inna Allah astafa lakum ad-din. Allah has chosen the deen for you. فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. Verse after verse, Allah mentions Al-Islam. That is the religion that He chose, that He selected, that He sent down to us, and that He is pleased with for us. And from the beauty of this deen is that it is comprehensive and cohesive. Comprehensive and cohesive. Islam is not just faith. It's just not, the good book or the church or the mosque or the temple on one day out of the week, the priest or the guru or the father or this or that, the rabbi, and that's it. Islam is a pragmatic, practical religion. Everything that you do on a daily basis, there is guidance for, there's instruction for, there's a reward for, there's a sin for, there's a hadith for, there's a supplication for. Islam is not a religion, just some mystical religion in the air. It's a religion of everyday life. People get married and people also what? They get divorced. People pray, people cry, people repent, people steal, people drink, people. And that's why you find what? All of that mentioned in Islam on what to do, what not to do, why, and what? Why not? I've been understanding this, and this is from the strongest things that we should use when giving dawah. Is challenge your opponents. What does your holy book say about this? What does your religion say about that? Tell me. What do Christians do when they get divorced? Tell me, give me the details of what Christians do when they can't agree with or agree on who will keep the child. Explain to me. Is this from the word that Moses brought or the speech of a rabbi? Which of the two? We have it all laid out. So laid out. We have different views, different madhabs, different what? Schools of thought. Look at the richness of Islam. And this is all included in Allah Azza wa Jalla's statement, Inna Allah astafa lakum ad-din. Wa raditu lakum al-Islam dinan. Everyone understand this? Khairan, inshallah. So, now to the technicalities. And once more, we always connect the fiqh to the spiritual. Right? It's just deeper than just Shafi'i, Hanbali, Hanafi. So now let's get into the technicalities. He says, Al-awla bit-tifli ummuhu ma lam tankih. The view that the author selects is the one who deserves the child the most is the mother. She keeps the child. As long as she does not remarry. Meaning that if the mother has a child, regardless of the age, she gets remarried, she's no longer al-awla. She's no longer most deserving of the child, but instead the what? Doesn't say the father yet. But she doesn't have the trump card anymore. Ace of spades or whatever, the royal flush. Right? She doesn't have that one card that dominates everything anymore. It's not the queen on the chessboard anymore. It's not the most powerful piece anymore. Everyone understand this? Piece has been captured. Right? As long as she doesn't remarry, she is the what? The queen on the chessboard. She can move to any square she what? Chooses. Tayyib? As long as she doesn't remarry. The moment she remarries, no. According to the author. Why is this? Why does the mother lose this top spot or the top seed? Football season, once she remarries. What's the wisdom behind this? She's no longer the controller of her own household. Very interesting answer. So you're telling me that the man is supposed to be the controller of the household? Maybe you should be mindful when you get married. Ask your wife this question or look at what? Look at her household. Very important. Who runs this house? Shaitan. Is it the father-in-law to be or the what? The mother-in-law to be. This is a serious question to ask yourself now. You go, you meet the family, you bring them the danishes, right? The gifts. You see who's what? Who's calling the shots here. And then you'll see how the girl, how the sister was raised. Don't underestimate the power of the tarbiyah. She was raised that a woman does this and a man doesn't. A man does this and a woman doesn't. It's going to have an effect upon her. Even if she hates it and she knows that it's wrong, it's still going to have an effect upon her because she may try too hard in reversing the tide. Everyone understand this? Because she saw her mother, such a strong, domineering woman that controlled and ran the household and told the father what to do. Now she'll try to do the opposite too much. And she may be too weak. And she may not have no type of authority when she needs to have it in the household. No decisiveness. So you have to look at how a girl is raised. Everyone understand this? You have to look at how a girl was raised. Tayyib? So he says the reason why she doesn't deserve to have the child doesn't mean that the child is taken away from her. But she's no longer what? Number one. Because she's no longer in charge of the household. Tayyib. Any other reasons? Khalid. Is this absolute? What if the father doesn't pray? But it is. That is the reality now. Father's a fasiq. Or a person of innovations. Even worse, right? Tayyib. What if the father has no money, no job? Father can't take care of the children. Is this absolute or is this as a default? As a default? He then says, ثُمَّ الْخَالَةِ, then the maternal aunt, not the paternal aunt. Why is this? She's linked to the mother. She shares the same motherism. Tayyib. Why is the mother first though? And then her sister. Why is that? What's the wisdom behind this? Is there wisdom or is this yani shay'un ta'abudi? It's just pure dogmatic spirituality that we just accept.
No, based on what when you describe the definition of the word,
Who has the warmest
that's right. The mother,
chest?
she's gonna be
The
most,
the, the most sturdy hip.
yeah, she's gonna invest the most.
She's going to invest the most in the child. Absolutely, or when the child is young. Allahu Alam. What you say? The mother knows the child better than anyone. She feels more connected to the child. First teacher, huh? Everybody agree on this? طيب. After that, he says, ثُمَّ الْأَبْ. Then comes the father. Why is the father number 3 and not number 1 or number 2? After that, he says, if it doesn't go to the mother, it doesn't go to the aunt, the maternal aunt, doesn't go to the father, then ثُمَّ يُعَيِّنُ الْحَاكِمِ. The hakim, the qadi. What's meant by the ruler is the qadi, the judge. He points out who the child goes to. Whoever that person what? Maybe. من القرابة من رأى فيه صلاحا, such as uncle, grandfather, older brother, etc. Who's the best guardian for this what? For this child. What are the conditions of that? Do they have to be Muslim? Do they have to be righteous? These are all details not mentioned here in the matan. All right? And the judge is going to be the one to apply these specific what? Details. Now, in the United States of America, who's the qadi? Is it Imam Fulan in the masjid? Or is it Queen's family court? La. Mufti Muhammad don't have no power. I can't control. Huh? With a gavel, huh? What's courts in what? Courts in session. Tayyib, you're going to pay such $1,000 for child support. What's the ruling on going to the courts? Many people have a lot of confusion about this issue. Some people say it's haram to go to the courts. You can't go to the courts that rule with other than what Allah has sent down. And others say you must go or you can go. Some people, they'll accept a judge's verdict, but here they won't accept the judge. It's a big, big, big problem in the United States. All right, and oftentimes we don't live in the reality of life. Okay, the people, they live in an Islamic state until they differ and agree and disagree. As long as we're friends and we're okay, we're what? We're in an Islamic state. But the moment we fight over money or a car or this or that, then it's what? It's a problem. May Allah help us all. Does the Imam play the role of the Qadi? Like we mentioned before about the Fasq and the Khula and things like this. Can the Imam play that role? What do you think, Abdul Raqib? No? Absolutely not? What do you think, Mukhtar? Ma ra'yuka? Depends on the Imam, such as? If he's learned or strong character, can't be naive. But most importantly, brothers and sisters, as I just mentioned, is that it depends on the people differing and fighting. Differing and fighting. So there's a brother and a sister with a young child, 2 years old, 3 years old, whatever. They go to the Imam, and they're both willing to make the Imam the hakim, the judge. Whatever you decide, we will abide by, we'll agree on. And that's simple and that's easy. But the problem comes in which the woman says, I don't agree with this judgment. This isn't fair. That the husband only pays $50 or $500. That's not enough money for me to take care of the child. I don't agree that he should have the ability to do this and to do that. I don't agree that he should be over his house without my watch, so on and so forth. So when the people differ, that is when what? That's when things get out of hand now. But if everyone can agree and unite, alhamdulillah, we don't have to go to the courts, beg the kuffar, embarrass the Muslims, etc. No problem. But is that even embarrassing the Muslims? Are the Muslims expected to be robots, mechanical beings? Or do the non-Muslims not realize that the Muslims are also what? Humans who have feelings and emotions and ups and downs, good days and bad days, just like anyone else. So it's a very long discussion with regards to the court system and with regards to living in a non-Muslim country and with regards to living in a Muslim country and how when you get married, you have to get married twice. You get married in the normal civil courts. Then you get married by the Adl or the Qadi or the Imam. Why do you get married twice if you're living in a Muslim country? Why do you have to get divorced what? Twice. That's a mushkila. Everyone understand this? How many courts do you have to go to get married in this country or that country? Proving that their court system isn't the what? Sharia system. Everyone
State.
everyone understand this? That's a long discussion, may Allah help us all. Al-Muhim is that all of these different issues in the United States or Canada or UK, wherever you may be, then of course, like Mukhtar said, the Imam should be learned. The Imam should be experienced, and there should be some type of shura. Let 3 Imams come together, 4 Imams come together, the assistant Imams, let them sit, let them talk. Let them document everything, record everything, and let them come to a decision. Today, Imam Fulan, these 4 Imams, they came together and they decided that Sister Fulana's marriage with Brother Fulan has been terminated. Based off of the following reasons. This is the proof, this is the date, this is the conversation recorded, ... done. Everyone understand this? If the Muslims can have respect for each other, of course, this can't be done if the Imams don't have respect for each other. Then how do we expect the normal people to respect the Imams, let them respect each other, when the learning people don't respect each other? So, at the end of the day, can an Imam be a Hakim? Can he be a Qadi? If the people agree, if everything's cordial and respectful, then what? Labas. But the moment someone says, no, I'm not listening to him, I'm bringing my own Imam, now you need an actual Qadi who has the law behind him. You will pay this monthly. You will allow the child to be seen such and such weekly. And if you don't, there are ramifications. That's the definition of a Qadi. Man lahu sultana wal ilzam. Quwwat tanfeed. He has the ability to put his hand on something and what? Leave a mark. I can just talk all day, but it doesn't what? Say, I don't have to listen to him. He's not my what? He don't pay my bills. He's not in charge of me. Or they may say other things worse than that. I don't have to listen to Sheikh Fulan or Brother Fulan. And that's true to a large extent. And that is one of the things that you lose out by not living in an Islamic system, is when people fight and when people differ. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifatan. I will make a khalifa in the land. Some of the scholars of Islam have clearly stated about this ayah, this is the asl of nasbul hakim or nasbul qadi. It's for a judge to be made for the benefit of the people, their blood, their honor, their wealth. Everyone understand this? That can only be done by someone who's strong. And a sheer scholar, a sheer mufti, let alone an imam, doesn't have that what? That strength. But the courts do. The courts do. Khairan inshallah. Moving forward. He then says, وَبَعْدَ بُلُوغِ سِنَ الْإِسْتِقْلَالِ يُخَيِّرُ الصَّبِيُّ بَيْنَ أَبِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ. After a certain year comes, which is called al-istiqlal. استقل يستقل استقلالا. الاستقلال, he says, قال المحشي وهو سن تمييز. قالها المصنف في النيل وقال الإمام النووي في التحرير والتمييز حاصل بفهم الخطاب ورد الجواب ولا يضبط بسن بل يختلف باختلاف الأفهام. انتهى كلامه. وذهب الجمهور إلى تقييده فذهب أكثرهم إلى تقييده ب7 سنين لأنه السن الذي علق عليه الأمر بالصلاة. وقيل غير ذلك انظر النيل والمغني وزاد المعاد والكليات. سن الاستقلال has another synonymous term, which is سن التمييز. سن التمييز. So when the child reaches this age and they become mumayyiz, they are mustaqil. And the author says that the child is now given the option of who he or she wants to live with. You want to stay with your Abi or your Ummi? You want to live with your grandmother or such and such, such and such? What is this age? Some scholars, they say, is that it is a tamyiz. And a tamyiz is done with 2 things. فهم الخطاب ورد الجواب. فهم الخطاب ورد الجواب. Understanding what is said to you and having the ability to respond. فهم الخطاب ورد الجواب. Everyone understand this? And that is not done with a specific age, these scholars say. It could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5, it could be 9, depending on the mental progression or maturity of the child. That's one view. And that does not pertain to a specific age. باختلاف الأفهام. هذا قول. قول آخر, the second view is the view of the majority. The majority of the ulama, they say that this age is 7. Whether the child is slow, bright, or not, 7 is the age. Once they reach the age of 7, they now have the option of who they wish to stay with. And the first group of scholars, they say it can be younger than 7, or maybe even older than 7. Could be before or after. And it's based off of Fahm al-Khitab wa Radul Jawab. Understanding what's said and having the ability to give, like throwing a ball, pitching and catching. Are you ready to catch it? And then you have to do what? Throw it back. Everyone understand? It's a child. How do you know that they understand the concept of football? You give them the ball and they keep running. All right, they keep running and running. Remember this? He ran out the end zone into the stands. He didn't know what was going on. Correct? He was told when you get the ball, do what? Run as fast as you can from one end to the other. That isn't called what? That's not what? Fahm al-Khitab. Everyone understand this? Raddul Jawab. So the child, the young athlete, you catch the ball and you do what? You throw it back. Or you hit the ball and you run to first base. Or you're out. You can't keep running around the diamond. So the child has to have the ability to do what? Understand what's being said to them and then do what? Give it back. So you send your child to the store. Bring me back a loaf of bread, son. You give him a $50 bill. They come back with a loaf of bread and they have a big smile and a candy bar. And that's it. It's not the age of what? Tamyiz. Tamyiz, the child knows that the bread doesn't cost what? $50, right? No loaf of bread is going to cost $50 at a corner store at least. Maybe at Whole Foods or something. Right? Everyone clear on this? So the child understands that there's change back. The child understands how things work. And then other scholars, they say rather it is at the age of 7 when the child is commanded to pray. Everybody clear on this or not? Then obviously, who the child is going to stay with, of course, the parents are going to fight for the child. They're going to use mind games. They're going to use trickery. Your father doesn't love you. Your mother doesn't love you. So on and so forth. Your father's not here. Your mother's not here. Your mother wanted to divorce. Unfortunately, it happens. It may be true. Maybe the father doesn't care. Maybe he is a deadbeat. Maybe the mother is a wicked wretch. Or other than what? It's possible. But to take an innocent child and to throw them in the middle of the war every single time, that's rough. And oftentimes it leaves scars upon the child when they reach their adulthood. And then the cycle continues to what? Moving over and over and over again. That's unfortunate. May Allah help us all. طيب. Moving forward. He says, فَإِن لَمْ يُوجَدْ أَكْفَلَهُ مَنْ كَانَ لَهُ فِي كَفَالَتِهِ مَصْلَحَةٌ. As far as, if that isn't the case, if that's not the case, we don't have the ability to pick, to choose, the father's dead, the mother's not, so on and so forth. Whoever has the ability to look after the child, even if they're a total stranger. Now, once a person adopts a child, if there's a such thing as adoption, what happens? Is the child a mahram? Do they inherit from each other? Does the child take the last name? Everyone understand this? Suckling, like we mentioned in the last class. I raised the little boy from this age, 8. Now he's grown. He can't be with my wife, so on and so forth. Everyone understand this? طيب والله أعلم. قال رحمه الله أو قال المحشي زاد في السيل فلم يقع الاختيار من الصبي أو تردد في الاختيار وجب الرجوع إلى الإقراع بينهما لثبوت ذلك في حديث أبي هريرة عند ابن أبي شيبة بلفظ استهما فيه والصح بن قطان. It says here that the author Shokani, he says in another book, Sayyid Al-Jarrar, he says what? If the child does not pick, or the child is indecisive, they don't know, then they have to pull straws. Rock, paper, scissors. Everyone understand this? And it has to be who wins. Everyone understand this? And that's because it's authentically reported in the hadith of Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhuma that says, it's collected by Ibn Abi Shaybah and others, istahima fihi. The Prophet told them to take a sahm. Pull. He told the father, the mother, ex-husband and wife to do what? Pull straws. So we say what? Rock, paper, scissors. Everyone understand this? Blind judgment. The child can't pick. Now we have to what? See whose fortune is greater. Everybody clear on this or not? These are the most basic and the most important rulings of Al-Hidana. The other issues and the specific details you obviously have to take from a greater book, a bigger book, explanation of a hadith, and of course the specific application of these rules you must go to a learned person. Because the rule is that the child stays with the mother. But it may not necessarily be the case in real life. Because the mother is on drugs, or the mother is liberal, we say the child has to what? Go to father, or vice versa. The woman is to give up the child if she remarries. That's one default ruling. But that may not be the reality with regards to this situation. The person that she married is more righteous than the father, or has the ability to take care of the child, etc. Everyone understand? It's the detail, the tafsil. And that is the concept of al-qada, of a specific judgment and a specific ruling, a tailor-made garment, and not a one-size what? Fits all. Thobes look the same, but my thobe pocket is different than yours. I have pockets for my pen. I have 3 slots instead of just 1, instead of 2. My pocket is deeper. It's what? Tailor-made. Everyone understand this? Made specifically because I have big elbows and slender shoulders. It's tailor-made, and that is the concept of the alim, who has the ability to give the hukm and the qada, and the people will submit to him. Of course, in the United States, in Canada, UK, Australia, in which we don't necessarily have these Islamic Sharia courts, we're going to keep running into that problem. But my personal advice is to ask Allah to protect you from the evil of yourself. And don't forget, ya akhi, this woman is a woman that you live with. It's a woman that you slept with. It's a woman at one point in time you loved, you were with her. No matter what happened, no matter how, whatever happened, don't forget. وَلَا تَنْسَوْا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Don't forget that. Don't forget, sisters, that this man who's the scum of the earth now, he's the most this and he's the worst that. It was a man that you loved. It was a man that you were with. It was a man that did this for you, that took care of you. Don't forget that. So spite and nastiness and ugliness is not going to bring good to the situation. And you may think that you're getting a victory by having the kids with you or by brainwashing the child, but in actuality, you're losing. You're not actually helping the child out. And you're not helping yourself grow as a person. You still have the spite in your chest, the nastiness in your chest. Everyone understand this? So all of these things have to be kept in mind, a taqwa. And the akhlaq of a Muslim when it comes to divorce and when it comes to child custody. And don't forget that we all live in the United States. And you can't just pick and choose what system you want to abide by. Something happens, you get into a car accident, you call the police. You don't want to take care of your children. Your ex-wife goes to the courts, you say, oh, that's the kuffar laws. You do your taxes. Do you return your taxes or not? Everyone, all right? Except for a few people. They take their taxes, they accept that hukum of the taghut and of kufr. But taking care of their children, they say, no, that's what? You can't go to the kuffar system. What type of hypocrisy is this? You can't pick and choose what you want to take from law. You can't pick and choose how you want to live as a citizen. Everyone understand this? And the courts are made because the people cannot agree, and in most cases because the people are not fulfilling their responsibilities. There wouldn't be no need of going to the court if the father was there or if the mother was doing what she was supposed to do. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to purify our hearts and allow us to agree upon that which is correct and to respectfully agree to disagree in that time. And what's important and most important is the benefit of the child. Not my ego, not my greed, not I have to control the situation, but what's best for Abdurrahman, what's best for Fatima, her growing up mentally, spiritually, and physically. All three, huh? He's a good Muslim, he prays, but he can't feed her. He takes care of her, he sends her to college, but he doesn't teach her anything. Or he doesn't give her the love and the support. All three have to be in unison. Mental tarbiyah, physical tarbiyah, fatten up the child, feed him good. Everyone understand this? The boy used to grow what? Tall and strong. Not, we barely have food in the house. I have to go to sleep hungry. I have to wake up hungry. Everyone understand this? I have to look for the next meal. That's not good tarbiyah. Fatten up the children. And most importantly is fatten up their souls, their deen. Everyone understand this? Educate them as Muslims. Allow them to read the Quran, study the Quran, know the aqidah of Islam, the akhlaq of a Muslim. Everyone understand this? And to protect them from harm and from vice. They shouldn't be exposed to drugs and alcohol and cigarettes at a young age. They shouldn't be watching this or listening to this. They shouldn't have to see a Muslim woman get beat up to a pulp in front of a Muslim man. It's unnecessary, guys. What the poet say? Life as a what? Shouldn't be so rough at that age. Allah surely knows best. Wallahu alam.